All right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I think this mic is working. I hope this mic is working. Recording this shit again. I just need to talk to you about some shit. First things first, this medical field is all kinds of fucked up because they don't ever tell you this shit. Even when you're in the doctor's office and say you're getting hit with these types of issues, they don't tell you how to deal with them or how they could have been prevented in the first place. Like, for example, I was learning about stage 3 kidney disease. No, I don't have it. Sometimes I just like to read up on medical shit. Okay? It's almost like a hobby of mine at this point. You're reading this and they'll tell you that once you hit stage 3, it's irreversible. But then you find other studies and a second opinion, essentially, and you realize that it is reversible. And it's all based on diet and not the diet that they give you. Ironic. Well, actually, no, it's not ironic. In fact, it's typical. Okay? I don't expect these doctors nowadays to give the cure. I expect them to give treatments because it's all a fucking business. We've been saying this. But me even saying this could potentially get this video flagged for medical misinformation. Even though this is something that's going to help you. Like back when I was telling people not to get anything from Pfizer or Moderna, but my shit got reported and flagged, etc. Now, that video is marked as medical misinformation, and people are now dealing with myocarditis or just heart issues in general. Okay, and then what's even more fucked up is that the very things that could keep you healthy and eliminate any future issues, those are the things that they were trying to get rid of during the pandemic, which was counterintuitive if you're trying to save lives. We know they weren't, or at least I know they weren't. If you're watching this, you may or may not give a shit. But I'm gonna make this known anyway. This is Dr. Sten Eichberg, a former Olympian, holistic doctor. And he found a connection between high insulin resistance and dementia. Now, I find this funny because I was listening to another video of his earlier where he was discussing which protein is good, which protein is bad. It's pretty much the reason why I have an issue with veganism, because plant protein, pea protein, soy protein specifically, it's not good for you. You need certain things for the protein to even be usable in the first place. When I say usable, I mean properly converted. The goal of protein is to gain more tissue. That's why when you work out, you eat a lot of protein, specifically plant protein, or not plant, specifically animal protein. You don't want plant protein. You don't want whey protein and fucking protein powders. That's not good for you either. A lot of that shit gets converted into sugar, and when there's an overload of sugar in your body, your body uses insulin to try to regulate that shit. And if you're too insulin resistant, you get issues like dementia. Funny. I'm starting to see why this boom in veganism is becoming a thing, especially since it's the WHO who was in charge of those studies in the first place, where they claim that red meat causes cancer. Now, am I trying to convert you from being vegan? No, but you're going to need to do something. Okay. You're going to need to do something. I'm just going to say, I don't care. You eat shrimp on the side or eat eggs on the side. You got to do something, bro. Just being vegan isn't good. And I'm not saying go all carnivore either. I'm not saying that. The only reason why I'm doing it is to regulate a lot of things first. Okay. We already know that overeating anything is not going to be great. It could actually add on a lot of issues. But there are better foods than others. The standard American diet is trash. Fast food every day is trash. And hell, what they have on their pyramid of what you need to be eating is also trash. You find out that grains is bad for you. All of them. All of them. Even whole grain bread is bullshit. You find out that corn is actually bad for you. You get what I mean? It's considered a grain. And whatever joke you want to make out of that shit, that sentence I just made, the point I'm getting at is that they're not telling you what you need to hear. And then you find a lot of people on pharmaceuticals for insulin, for high insulin and all this shit, people catching diabetes, and then they give them these diets, but they're still lifelong patients. They're still getting insulin, shots because they need it. Even though a lot of the shit is making the problems worse. And instead of cutting, they instead of giving, proper foods that will heal you, they just tell you what to cut out of your diet. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And then to find out that the link between sugar and dementia is a 30-year-old study is what really got me. It's a 30-year-old study that gets swept under the rug, and doctors will tell you that there's just nothing you can do about it. What this man was essentially saying, because I'm not going to play the entire 27-minute video, is that the best way to prevent dementia is to go into a ketosis state where your body is essentially a fat burner. It doesn't rely on glucose, sucrose. Well, sucrose just gets broken down into glucose, excuse me. Same with fructose, which is in a lot of fruit, ironically. Not ironic. But I've seen people on fucking Facebook, they only eat fruit, only watermelon, etc. That's technically still a high sugar diet. I mean, it is what it is. But back to what I was getting at. So you want to be in a ketosis state. You want your body to be a fat burner. You want more whole foods, not a bunch of processed foods, not a bunch of sugar. And that'll actually help keep your brain healthy. Because what happens when you have dementia is essentially that your brain is starving. It needs energy, it needs food, and it's not getting food. You're too insulin resistant, and there's an overload on glucose, and then your brain begins to break down because it's not getting the nutrients that it needs. And because there's no other, source, it's essentially dying. And the first part that goes away is the component for memory. Keep in mind, this is a 30-year-old study. So they been had the essentially the cure. It's a cure if you just get rid of all the bullshit. More regulation. I don't even want to say more regulation. Fuck regulation. But the FDA ain't doing their damn job. They're not. They approve shit that is banned in other countries. So you tell me what the fuck's going on. I mean, yeah, the shit is like crack. I want some McDonald's fries right now. Gotta get weaned off the bullshit. It's fucked up, isn't it? But then they want to turn around and tell you that red meat is the problem. And they try to link shit like cancer to it. Cancer can be prevented with red meat. Something that they don't tell you. They refuse to tell you. And instead tell you the opposite and then fabricate numbers to try to make it seem as though what they're saying is true. You can also go deep into the medical field and follow the money, and you'll realize the agenda behind all of it. But I'm not going to go deep into that. I'm not. That's going to be a giant ass rabbit hole that's going to piss you off even more. And if it doesn't piss you off, okay, just keep the shit in mind. I'll link these videos in the description. I hope this helps somebody out there. I really do. Anyone who watches my channel. My channel is not big. It's only fucking 70 subscribers. So what? I'm going to keep talking that real shit. It's that simple. Don't trust everything your doctor tells you. Always get a second opinion. And if you can, take preventative measures. Because the last thing you really want to be is in the doctor's office all fucking fucked up, diabetes and shit. It's bad enough that, you know, they're trying to put a finger up your ass by the time you're 40. We're just checking for palps and to make sure that there's no cancer. Well, if your diet was right, you wouldn't have to worry about fucking cancer. But hey, you got a finger up your ass now. I'm done with this shit, man. I'm fucking done with this shit. Tell me what you think. And when you do, be respectful. I've been telling y'all this shit since 2020. Hopefully somebody will fucking listen. I'm signing off.